It's here. On the date of this recording, it is January 3rd, and January 3rd is the date that I chose for my book to be published and basically dropped to the public. And this video is going to be very unique. I wanted to do this about a year ago with some of the other books that I had read, and even with Arborea Lux. But I didn't get the chance to because the software that I was using at the time didn't let me. It wouldn't let me do long videos. So I decided to do it with this software because this software actually has been a little bit kinder to me. On the drop date of Seraphim Awakening, January 3rd, I have decided to bring back a project of mine that I wanted to do. This is Kat the Crowing Author here at the Magic Library, and today I am reintroducing the Magic Reading Hour. The Magic Reading Hour is a little project that I wanted to do about a year ago, and it was basically to read a passage from a book that I was reading or that I was working on to get you interested into reading it. And today I've decided to reintroduce that with doing Seraphim Awakening, my second book. After I read the passage and everything, if you're interested in reading Seraphim Awakening and also reading Arborea Lux, which you'll sort of need to read to understand some of the Easter eggs in this, you can go down to the description below and you can find the links for Seraphim Awakening and for Arborea Lux. There, they will take you to Amazon, and you can buy them there. So, with all that being said, let's get started. I'm going to be reading from two different points of view from the prologue. I'm not going to do the first point of view that I've written in here, primarily because it's weird in a way. It's weird to write this from his and to read this from his point of view, and I sort of feel uncomfortable doing it. But if you guys want to, I'll do a short or something, and I'll read the first part, and I'll read the first part of the prologue. But for now, let's get started with the second part of the prologue, which is from Zyla's point of view. Zyla, 9 years later. No one knew what started the fire, whether it was an accident or intentional, but the raging flames rapidly consumed Lady Luxia's house for children, dangerously licking at the small captives inside. Smoke hung in the air that crackled with the sounds of deteriorating foundations and the terrified screams of the dying residents. It was the smoke that burned my eyes and my lungs as I ran through the burning rubble of the orphanage, my heart beating like a drum in my chest as I panicked. "Irina!" I screamed, fighting the cough that tined my throat. "Irina, please, where are you?" I searched every room, bile threatening to climb my throat at the sight of burning corpses of children and their caretakers. Panic spiked my heart rate all the more. Where was she? Where was my sister? I felt back to the fight we had had earlier that week. Some stupid argument about who should eat the first slice of cake. After all, kids are allowed to be greedy on their birthdays. It was all so petty. I'd made Irina cry and I was scolded by the headmistress. I should have given her the first piece instead of insisting that I have it just because I was the oldest, a fact that no one really knew if it was true. But all of it didn't matter, especially now. Irina was my twin sister, my other half, the only family I had. I wasn't going to let her cry again. Smoke made my eyes water, and I followed my blurry vision as I escaped the now crumbling building. I coughed to clear my lungs as I fell to my knees. "Irina," I spoke with a throat raw from screaming. "Where are you?" Images of those dead children, most of them having been younger than my twin and myself, in the body of the headmistress, Lillian, were seared into my memory, along with the stench of their burning flesh. My right shoulder began to ache. Had I been hit by falling debris and the adrenaline simply numbed the pain until my escape? The ache grew into a stabbing pain, and I screamed as something contorted and grew from my spine. I looked back in horror to find black feathers damp with blood. My blood. My sister and I had been born with similar marks, a black wing on our shoulders, mine on my right and Irina's on her left. My eyes started to burn, but it wasn't from the smoke. It was like a hot poker was scraping the back of my skull. Tears filled my eyes, and I cried as I tried to keep the sobs of pain behind my clenched teeth. I pressed my palms into my eyelids, trying to ease the pain. "What?" "Zyla!" My head snapped to the hazy surroundings as a voice faintly called over the sounds of burning wreckage. It made me fight my exhaustion and the pain. My sister was still out there, and she needed me. Arena, trying to stand, but I fell to the ground again, the wing on my back causing my balance to sway. The pain in my shoulder and my eyes was a piercing pain that made it hard to breathe. The exhaustion I felt from running and coughing certainly didn't help. Zyla! Zyla, help me! My sister screamed in agony, and it made my chest tighten. I hit the ground as I succumbed to the pain. I couldn't move no matter how hard I tried to gather the willpower to do so. Let me go! Arena screamed. Zyla, please, help me! Arena was crying, and it sounded as though she was struggling in someone's grasp. I gritted my teeth as I pushed myself up. The wing on my right shoulder flexed and stretched, but it was a useless appendage. It was only hindering my efforts. It wouldn't help me save my sister. I'm coming, Arena! I fell to the ground again, and my strength was failing me once more. I wanted to find my sister, to hold her close, to apologize for everything. But I couldn't. The heat sapped my strength and my vision clouded with black. I failed her. My thoughts were numbly swirling inside my head. I failed my sister. Phoenix, 13 years later. Dried leaves blew in the cool autumn breeze and brushing up against an upright stone monument. It was a headstone. The hairs on the back of my neck bristled in the chilling winds as I stared at the words carved into the grim slate of stone. Serena Bright, beloved wife. Those words made my chest tighten. It didn't evoke the kindest words in my mind. Guilt burned in my veins, coursing through me like boiling water in pipes of ice. It was ruining me. Serena, I'd always called her Sarah, was my wife, and yet I felt nothing when she died. It was a relationship that was more of a friendship with a marriage label than anything else. Perhaps the most petty definition of political marriage if I'd ever heard one. I shifted in my place, rolling my shoulders forward as I stared at the grave. I had no doubt that if she was there, she'd be laughing at me for how I was beating myself up for not feeling anything. Sarah was witty like that. If I didn't know any better, my brother Joshua spoke up from beside me, I'd say that you haven't moved since Sarah's funeral. I must have been so distracted that I didn't hear him approach, I thought, and a huff escaped my nose. I must be losing my touch. Joshua was casual, wearing jeans, boots, and a long-sleeve shirt underneath a fleece long coat. Josh, Phoenix, you can't keep blaming yourself. My brother sighed, seemingly frustrated with my behavior. The accident wasn't your fault. This is the very definition of the word. That is the very definition of the word. It's no one's fault. But is it not mine for marrying her? I asked, for asking her to be my partner just for the sake of keeping the Bright Alpha dynasty alive. Joshua sighed and shook his head, not answering as he ran his hand through his dark hair. I turned back to look at my wife's grave. The cold stone seemed to stare back at me, ridiculing me for my guilt, or rather, lack thereof. It's strange, I muttered. Father said that when you lose someone, you feel the thread in your heart snap. You feel broken, shattered, but I don't feel anything. My throat felt raw. I had been screaming, trying to force myself to cry, to mourn. But it didn't feel genuine. Something was missing, something I was supposed to be feeling. All I felt during that entire ordeal, and even now, was hollow. You realize you're not making any sense, right? Josh pointed out. She was your wife. Then why does it feel like I'm staring at the grave of a total stranger? I asked, looking at him as I cut him off. You married young, sure, but it wasn't like you didn't care about her, he said, leaning his head in my line of sight as if to check my reaction. You did care about her, right? I sighed. Of course I cared about her. The woman was witty, and she had a good head on her shoulders. She might not have been one of us, but she had cared about the pack and wanted nothing but the best for my people. I shook my head as I turned away. Whatever, it doesn't matter now, I said, walking away from Josh in the grave. I can't stay here. Phoenix, the pack needs you, he sighed, having turned to follow me. It's time for you to come back. I'm not going back, Joshua, I turned to him. I've already decided. My brother followed again, and I could tell that he was confused. But I didn't have the time to really explain anything to him. What? He said, wait, Phoenix, what do you mean? I'm leaving the pack, I elaborated as I kept walking. Phoenix, you can't do that. Josh grabbed my shoulder and turned me towards him. He held me by the shoulders as if to try to shake some sense into me. His eyes were wide and desperate. You're the Alpha. You cannot abandon the mantle. Not anymore, I said, my voice raspy. I'm leaving it to you, Josh. You're a bride after all. But you're the firstborn. His eyes were wide with panic as he pleaded with me. "Brother, please! You're stronger than I ever was," I said, a sad smile curling on my lips. "You should have been Alpha from the start." "Phoenix, this is goodbye, Josh," I said, gently brushing his hands from my shoulders. "I'm sorry, but I can't stay here." My brother fought to keep a hold of me, but I turned and walked away. He called my name over and over, but I didn't answer. I knew what this would mean. This would mean that I was a deserter to my pack, but I couldn't care less at that moment. I didn't care about tradition or protocol. All I wanted was to be able to breathe. Perhaps in my exile I would find the answer that I needed, the answer to the question that I did not know how to phrase. And that is the prologue or part of the prologue for Seraphim Awakening. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it sort of spurred your interest into what is going on here. I did notice some mistakes and everything, but I also realized that this is the one of the proofs that I did, and I actually don't know if I fixed these mistakes in the manuscript, so I've got to go check that. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video and everything. I'm still not good at reading on camera and everything, but I am getting better. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to help me get my viewership up and to help me get my subscribers up. I'm at 64 right now. I would like to get to 100 before the summer. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it would be nice. If you guys are interested in reading Seraphim Awakening and also reading the book that came before it, my debut novel, Arborea Lux, the links for those are down in the description below, and they will take you to Amazon to the pages there. I'm not sure about doing a live stream yet. I've still got to order author copies and everything, so I don't know when specifically that's going to happen. But I will say it will happen before the end of January, I promise you. So keep an eye out for any updates. And you can keep an eye out for updates on all of my socials, on my author page on Facebook, as well as my writing group on Facebook, the Discord server, my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok. I just did a very funny little, not necessarily a book trailer, but like I did a little book ad for Seraphim Awakening today, and I'm still wearing the outfit that I wore and everything, but it's freezing cold outside. I mean, like, it's 38 degrees. My throat's still a little raw because I was screaming and breathing in like very, very cold air. So there's that. But this is the beginning of a new step for me. So I'm enjoying it to the fullest. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys will continue to stick around for more videos, and I will see you the next time I'm on. Bye, guys.